these services.
Would it be possible to get the slides that are being presented?
Interesting. I think we can post them on Reusable SF and Reusable Alameda County's websites, and we will be showing you the links to those.
Hello. So Rotation primarily serves free outdoor public events. As a greening team, we talk trash and recycling and compost and reuse when we're interacting with the public, as well as event producers and food vendors, because education is key to making things a little less trashy. I would love to see reuse at our events, but reuse is very rare despite the policies in most Bay Area counties that allow folks to bring their own containers, and the several reuse services providers that are available. So why is it rare? Talking with reuse companies and other greeners and solid waste authorities, we've heard that recovery rates for reusable items are hella low at public events of around 5%. And yeah, there's no reason to keep doing that. Bars at our events have confined areas, which helps with recovering the items, but our bars at our events don't do enough sales, so the service providers can't come out. We could possibly recover the items, and we do have a restaurant that would allow us to do that dishwashing, but who's gonna pay for us to do that? That labor is not free. We could get a grant for a year, but then what? You see the issues. And then sometimes we had 2 events in San Francisco last summer where event producers went ahead and purchased reusable cups for the event, only to be told by the police if they use those cups, their permit would be rejected. So also talking to the public, safety and security. Also talking to the public, most people aren't even aware that they can bring containers, and because they have to be clean. If they're clean, the health departments actually require them in Alameda County and Marin counties, not San Francisco, where businesses can force you to eat and drink out of trash. It says it's recyclable and compostable. That's me talking trash.
We'll change that.
All right. So really, more conversations I've had reveal what's behind the dependence on single-use items, and it's rooted in the fact that all these systems and beliefs are founded on genocide and ecocide, and very little has been done to remedy that. And the genocide and ecocide continues, and it's needed to make a profit for the sustainability sector, because exploitation of land and water and bodies is what is needed to sustain this work. Stolen land and stolen bodies, Yamalu, where we are right now, is what built this country, the city, and it's still happening. From the encampment suites down the street and the Mission, to Palestine, to Congo, to Haiti, to Puerto Rico, it's all the same. So we don't really want to sustain that. These conversations also reveal how internalized hatred of the poor and the appearance of being poor plays a part in this. I've had cafe workers and owners say that they don't want to touch people's dirty cups. I've had people demand the plastic wrap utensils because they think that those utensils that are been washed are dirty. And so why it is because there's trauma linked to escaping poverty intergenerationally. And people are poor. I'm poor. We don't all have access to running waters at home. We don't have access to clean water at home. Some of us don't have homes. And some of us don't have the time and energy when we get home to want to wash So it doesn't happen. And we're not trying to schedule returning and revealing, and that's why these single-use items exist in the first place, right? So we can give our time and energy to being exploited and pay for the profits to keep it going. So what do we do about these systems and these beliefs? So this is what we're doing. So about a year ago, I stopped going to the coalition meetings, and I turned to bringing reuse. Oops, thank you. Ooh, thanks. I turned to bringing reuse to where I was, and mainly it was events and gatherings for Liberated Kids, which is a self-directed learning community that my son totally is at, and because that's my real job, you know, being a mom, and making sure my kid doesn't eat off of toxic plastic and other kids don't eat off of toxic plastic. And by divine timing, I was chosen for a fellowship with Parenting for Liberation's Black Innovation Lab, where I received the mentorship and support to see what reuse needed to be normalized at gatherings. And so we sit, how might ancestors have done this? We know that it existed before, right? And so that's where ReUnion was born. And we're organizing as a non-religious church that centers Black families, caretakers, and creatives to explore our ancestral practices and affirm what we need to know and unlearn what we don't need to know anymore. And we do invite all folks, although the offerings do vary. And when we say reparations now and land back, we really mean it. We need these physical spaces. Cafe de Funk, which we used, when we got SFE to come in and give them a grant, they lost their lease because of market rate condos being developed there. It's a space where we use for ReUnion, where all people were really welcome. They had it as a third space. So we need these types of meeting places. We also have Laurel Community Garden where we meet. It is private, quote unquote, land, but we're allowed to be there through mutual aid where we hold our gatherings. So, oops. Oh, yeah. Okay. So if you're interested or you want to support, there's a QR code for a form, and there's my information, and thank y'all.
Yeah, Maria.
Next up,